Okay, next is going to be Forest of Skills, written by Yuri Zovik. It is 279 pages, $2.99. It's available on Kindle Unlimited, and here's the author's description. Skills are everything. When he accepts the hit, Russ would not have believed whose interest he was actually serving. Now, with the job done, an otherworldly being is giving him with one hand what was just taken from him, with the other his life. Skills are everything, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Placed into the world of skills, Russ found himself faced with a new life governed by a system he did not completely understand. It is, however, a completely new start. Will Russ continue doing what he does best, or will he be able to achieve the things that he had always wanted but considered to be lost because in his old life? Why not some of both? This is a literary story where the main character acquires skills and levels them up using them. He gets the ability choices as he levels up, and as a reader, you will be going through the choices with him in most cases. That's what the novel description says. I'm just reading it. Okay. This is a transported to an RPG fantasy world with an interesting start. The main character is an assassin that kills the chosen one of another god and gets sent to an RPG fantasy world as a consequence. The main character reincarnates as a weak, sickly half-elf that has to use his new RPG abilities to survive and to live in this world. The beginning is mostly about the main character power leveling a few abilities and picking powers, and then exploring this world and doing anything he needs to survive, including hurting people for information, robbing bandits for coin. Mid and late story picks up the action, so there's a little more action there, as the main character gets a new companion and becomes involved in bigger issues in the world. The game mechanics are really simple. They're mostly about raising skills to get abilities and feats as the skill progresses. There are stats, but they're slow to grow and increasing in fractions of like a hundredth of a percent, I believe, or 0.01, with a normal score of 1 as a standard. One of the only word spots in the story, and this really felt odd to me, is kind of a forced relationship that happens about halfway into the story. And it's a really ramped up relationship. The main character goes from a casual acquaintance with somebody to an adventuring partner to marriage in a couple of chapters. And it wasn't necessarily a bad shift. I think it allowed them, it gave the main character someone to talk to regularly. And their relationship is cute enough, but it did shift quickly and it felt super forced. And I read some other reviews where like, oh, this breaks it for me. It doesn't for me because I continued and I saw how the relationship became important just companion wise, and it allowed the story to kind of develop in different ways with his wife, I guess now. And it wasn't bad. The results weren't bad, but the shift was definitely like, oh, that's pretty sudden, I guess. Overall, though, it's a slice-of-life story that mostly focuses again on the things the main character does to increase his skills. In the forest area he finds himself. It's very entertaining if you enjoy crunchy adventure stories, some build theory, and good action. There's a lot of notifications here. Just be aware of that. It really is crunchy. Give it a score of 7.6 out of 10. Loses a little bit just because of that sudden relationship building, just some of the repetitive character sheets that come up on a little bit too regular basis for me. So I'd rather have more numbers than not, I suppose. A score of 7.6 out of 10 for Forest of Skills.